Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
I'm pressing buttons. I'm running around. Whatever. Hi. I hope everybody's doing well today. Thanks for your patience as we get started today. We have some court to watch for sure. We are over to John. It looks like you're red right now, but we know how these things can change. I guess, you know what? Here's the deal. Wahoo! Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Wahoo. That is so sweet. All right, you've shaken me out of it. Woo! I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it now. I was just about to say, you know what? When we can't find the joint that we were just smoking, do you know what the solution to that problem is? Say it with me now. We roll another joint. We listen and we don't judge. Anyways, you guys, I'm so glad that you're here. I have been working today here in my office at home, capturing court for us. So forgive my attire. But we have some good cases to watch. You know, Thurston County, I would give you very terrible odds if you aren't able to guess what is going on in Thurston County. John, you have to do some yard work. You got to figure out you can also, yes, do your yard work, John. Hi, Sherry. Hi, just another Katie. Vicky's here. Bill's here. Cassie was gifted a membership. MPC is here. And Wahoo, thank you again. As Credence says a lot, first monies of the week. Beverly, that's so sweet. And Courtney, hello. Oh, also, I know I don't want to get political. I really don't. So maybe I should just not. Maybe I'll just not. Okay. Anyways. I was gonna say, apparently there's something going on with Michigan, like a few energy, like Ontario provides energy to some places, but regardless, we're not gonna get political. You heard I was moving to South Carolina to feed Mikey. You almost caught that joke, just another Katie. So Mikey lives in North Carolina. Creed lives in South Carolina. Mikey seemed to be offering me up there. But we all know that I want to move to Florida. So, close but no cigar. And also the ongoing joke is that I am a personal chef to an asshole in his 40s. That's not me. No, it's my roommate who's also my ex-boyfriend. And I am a personal chef to him. So, there's that. So Mikey's got it sort of right, but I don't really want to go to South Carolina, although that's pretty close to Florida, isn't it? I don't know. And I'm not in my 40s, I'm almost in my 50s. That's a callback to a different video that we watched. Anyways, if I move to Florida, his food will be pretty cold. No gifts for 007. I'm sorry, 007. Oh, do you know what? Here, I'll do my part. I'm going to do my share to gift 5 people memberships. Reminder, my birthday's coming up this month. And so, hold on. I got to usually when I say I can't do anything about it, I fucking mean it. But this one, I can do something about by giving away my 5 memberships. Actually, I get 10 a month. Thank you, YouTube Daddy. I love that Colin got a membership there. Katie, I saw that too. I saw that. I love it. Oh, my tray's backwards. YouTube Daddy, in his infinite wisdom, has given each of us creators 10 memberships to give away every month. But they go away if you don't remember. So Cellulite Yoga Pants reminded me last month, thankfully. And then that was pretty close to the end of last month. So then I've still remembered for this month. William, welcome. How are you? I hope everybody, like I've said already about 17 times, intro. How we all doing? Tell me what you're eating. Tell me right now. I'd love to know what you're eating. My client asked for egg wraps this morning, which I prepared. And then I informed my client that we have, yay, I hear something beeping. Thank you, John. 6 months members, 6-month membership. Thank you for welcoming the new members, is what I meant to say. Anyways, I informed my client that I'm indisposed right now doing this show, and so I will not be making dinner till later. But I'm sure when I finish this, I will have a litany of requests for dinner. Probably none of which I'm gonna make because I do what I want. I do what I want. I do what I want. Okay, so I am. Oh gosh, I thought I hit end stream there for a second. Gluten-free beef stroganoff and gluten-free blueberry muffins. Gluten can kill your hubs. Oh, be careful, just remember, Katie. You know what you should check out? Fig bread. I know you're like, Paisley, I just told you he can't have bread. This doesn't have bread in it, or doesn't have any flour in it. It's only got 2 ingredients. Figs and walnuts. Oh, my hand looked like it was in another dimension there. Anyways, figs and walnuts, and maybe cinnamon and honey. But honestly, super duper duper delicious. And it's a really good survival food, as in it doesn't need to be refrigerated, and it just gets, and it can stay wrapped up at room temperature for months at a time. So it's good to have in your survival kit. But, it's also delicious, and it doesn't have any flour in it. Just figs and walnuts. Anyways, okay. We are going to go down to, God, I was just about to say Houston County. It's not Houston County. It is Thurston County, Washington. And we are, hold on, please. Please hold. Thank you for holding. Oh, that's right. I got another new judge today. Oof. Computer hates me today. I made it work very hard today. Fig Newtons in your survival kit. That's a good idea. Beep bop boop intro. We don't need you right now. We need the Thurston County Protection Order docket.
I have the packet.
Okay, thank you. Now we're
I
going to
have you
skip
there.
all these people because they're annoying and it was lame. And then we're going to get all the way to, yeah, that one.
All right, I got you seated. Ms. Peters, stand up and I'll put you under oath. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right, you can have a seat. Mr. Johnston, raising your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Seat. And Ms. Johnston, do you swear to tell the truth? I have the packet. Can I have you there?
Yes.
I didn't do
Okay.
that.
All right.
What the fuck? What is happening? Did you guys see that? I had it perfect and then it just jumped. Judge? Oh my. What the fuck?
This protection order will be sent.
Oh, there we go. There we go. She was standing up. There she was standing
Important
up.
to kind of see.
There we go. Okay, here we go. Shut up, everybody. Here we go. He's not the new prime minister. Are you talking about the Ford guy?
Ms. Peters, stand up and I'll put you under oath. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right, you can have a seat, Mr. Johnston. Raising your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Seat, and Ms. Johnston, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please be seated. All right. Great. So this is case 2556 filed by Ms. Peters asking for an order against both Taylor and Carrie Johnston. And there's been a temporary order issued. And the parties should know that I have reviewed the order that was issued by the previous judge under 25-9 on January 27th, protecting Ms. Carrie Johnston from William Peters. And along with reviewing this, I thought it important to kind of see a broader reach. So, Blaine, I'm just going to ask.
Is Mark, I saw something about Mark Carney in the news this week or today, but he's the head of the Bank of Canada right now. Did he get elected as the new Liberal? Yeah, so he's the new Liberal leader. So that makes him is going to be the next prime minister. Well, I'll tell you something, our banks haven't failed.
Why? Give you this. How do I, this is already off of full screen, but I really need more real estate. Half screen.
Who's this guy? Sir, we're in court. What are you gonna do here? I'm already paying the tariffs, William. People are
All right.
changing their shopping habits here drastically.
I didn't have that button. I had to hit escape to get that button. Okay, now that I know how to do it. Thanks. Thanks, Blaine. Take the rest of the day. Get my screen set up here. And again, I'm looking back and forth because I've got electronic files here. I am listening, but I'm also looking. There's a lot of things filed here. So this. All right. So to both parties here, my first, as I've reviewed 25-9 and I've reviewed this case, 2556 filed by Ms. Peters, I'm not seeing a substantial change from January 27th. I'm not seeing a substantial basis by which to issue any order. This appears to be simply a request by Ms. Peters because there was an order issued on January 27th. I don't see any real basis. And so that cuts us to the chase. I'm not, everything I've read, all the exhibits, there were a lot of exhibits filed, and 09, there was a lot of information, that previous case. So there is nothing here to cause this court to issue an order on your behalf. Ms. Peters frankly looks retaliatory to the court. Now, I'm not going to make any findings as to that, but I find there is no substantial basis to issue an order on your behalf. So that temporary order ends. The order that is in existence between that protects Carrie Johnston from William Peters continues.
Outfit, by the way, Courtney.
And there is no order out of this case because there isn't any basis. So that's it. You haven't met the burden that you needed to meet. So I will sign an order as to the effect. You can either wait or you can access that order online in our court files. Did you want to wait or just access that online? Pardon? Okay, and Ms. Peters?
Ms. Peters, we
wanna wait? All right,
recognize her.
so let me take care of this.
Fucking shit. Go back. Look, they were here before, weren't they? The Peters. I remember them. Somebody will have to know better than I did. But what did the judge just say, that it was retaliatory? I recorded this today, but I was in and out doing other things, so I didn't hear all parts of it. Also, Karina Harris down here on the bottom is going to drink from a very, very unique straw at some point. I need somebody to go ahead and find it for me, so I can add it to my Amazon wish list. Again, whilst I was recording, I was also busy on my cell phone, and so I couldn't frickin' oh no, into which you might. It's possible. But anyways, I couldn't even look it up. I was like, oh my god. But keep an eye out. She has this crazy fucking, she sipped on the straw, the circle straw already. What was it? God damn it.
Pardon me? Okay, and Ms. Peters, want to wait? All right, so let me take care of this.
She uses a ring light and she has very good lighting and a decent camera. I would anticipate that she does some streaming from home or some sort of content creation. And then that straw, I think, is made so that you don't like make a sucking face. Wouldn't work for me. Suck too much dick. And that's the way, I like it. That's a real background. I see her walk through it, but it is set up nicely for filming. I thought maybe she's a therapist, but her face looks too done up, and then the straw really sealed the deal for me. Also, somebody asked me on a recent video, are you supposed to be streaming this court? And I was like, shh.
Make a couple of copies.
Yeah, what is all the shit on Misty's floor? Misty, you got the headphones for streaming, but why would you show that floor? Blur the background, ma'am. Blur your background, ma'am. Did somebody get to these judges and explain to them they can't be leaving the paperwork till after?
So Ms. Peters, first, if I
Like,
could
what's
have you
going
come on up here and we'll hand you that, and then you can be on your way. That's for you. Then you can be on your way.
This case does involve dogs.
Then Mr. Johnston, why don't you come on up and get that? You can either wait in the courtroom or be on your way. I just want to help everyone not to avoid bumping into each other. Looks like the Peters are getting on their way. So you can have a seat in the courtroom if you'd like. So I can't take anything from you while people are not all together. So if you wanted to wait 5 minutes, we'll like it.
The
Aaron
Peters-
Barrett, why don't you come on up to the
Oh,
table
here we
there?
go. Here we go. Case of the night. Case of the night.
Karina Harris. Got you there. All right, unmute. Just trying to get my screen here so I can see everybody. All right, we're taking up case 2558, and this is Mr. Barrett has received a temporary restraining order against Ms. Harris, and that's the hearing today. So Mr. Barrett, why don't you stand up with me, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, have a seat. And Ms. Harris, you'd raise your right hand with me. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
And Mr. Barrett, just so you're not uncomfortable, I'm looking at the back wall, not at you all the time, and you may get a little confused because that's where the video screen is. So I'm looking at Ms. Harris because sort of it's sometimes easier to change focus. All right, so let me get all my documents again, as I've said to others, just so you're aware. I've got another screen here, and that's where I'm looking at my court dockets or all the information that y'all filed. So I'll be looking back and forth. I am listening, but I am also looking at what you filed. So please understand that. Where are they? So just getting some of those dockets or information open. Give me a moment.
It was frosty this morning. Search for Spock. Terribly fucking cold. And it's currently 48 degrees, but it feels like 45. That's fucking cold. Tomorrow, high of 45, low of 40.
Had there were several hearings scheduled today, so I have notes, but I always want to look back and recall what exactly we're doing here.
And guess what? It's shockingly raining all week. That's how March is here. Rain, 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 so much rain.
All right. And this involves also several of your children that we included, Mr. Barrett in the temporary order. Okay, so I'm going to start out, with the petitioner, as I said. So Ms. Harris, first I'm going to talk with Mr. Barrett, and then I'm going to turn back to you and hear from you. And then I'll make a decision about whether this temporary order continues or not, what the conditions might be if I do make that decision under the law that this order should continue. So, Mr. Barrett, anything more, anything you want me to focus in on, anything in particular?
I want you
Filed this
guys,
petition?
Judge,
What would-
first of all, yes. Second of all, I want you guys to focus in on a straw for Karina. If you see her using it, please write straw in the chat so that I can go back. Thank you.
Would you like to say?
I submitted some information this morning,
This morning.
also via email.
Okay, let's get that going.
Well, I
Hmm.
just, because it was all within the body of the email, can't accept it that way, so you have to send it as
yeah.
attachment.
And did you provide that by any chance separately to Ms. Harris?
No, I didn't.
No, okay. All right, so a couple of options for you. I could go forward without that information. You can tell me about it, or we can set another court date. You get that information into the court, get it to Ms. Harris, and that's how we deal with it. So I guess I need to know from you. Where you want to go.
I can tell you about it then.
Okay, so rather than me reviewing any of that, you're gonna forego all of that you tried to file.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, then that's what we'll do. We'll go on what we have. And I've got, and you're ready for your hearing otherwise today?
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Harris, you ready for this hearing today?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. So back to you then, Mr. Barrett. What would you like to say on this?
So back in September, October was my first interaction with her. She came to my property about my dogs, supposedly being on her property. And she showed me a video of a long-haired German Shepherd, which didn't exactly match my dog's description. But so we talked about it, and she asked what I was going to do about it because I don't have a fenced-in yard. So I told her that when time and money allows, I would get a barrier put up. So if it was my dogs that went on her property, it wouldn't happen again. Well, then after that incident, there was several times that my wife and I were not home, and we heard from the neighbors that she was sitting in our driveway while there was no vehicles. there. There was no indication that anybody was home, and she was just sitting parked in our driveway. And we have a very long driveway to get down, so she was sitting in front of our house. So I heard from the neighbors about that, and then also one time my father was home, and she came on 2 different instances when my dogs were inside in the kennel all day with my dad, that she was there sitting in our driveway, not coming to the door, not doing anything, just sitting there.
This is not a shared driveway, is it?
No,
She doesn't need
it's
to
my
use
private,
it,
it's my private driveway that she has no business down the driveway.
but nobody else needs to use it to get to their own
Nobody,
property.
nope, it's
Okay.
just my property.
All right.
Access for one
and-
residence.
All right.
And so, so then that happened, and then, animal control was called. They came and talked to us. We were not issued any warning because they said she didn't provide any proof. They met our dogs. They actually physically petted our
So
dogs.
what's the deal with her, though? Not, you know, so
well,
what
this-
is,
the
why are you
order-
asking for this protection?
From February 24th. So February
Okay.
24th, I got home probably like, I think probably about 1:30 in the afternoon. And I heard this honking, and I'm like, what is that? And Miss Harris's vehicle was in my driveway holding the horn down. So I went out, I opened the door, and she starts yelling from her window, "Are your dogs with you?" And I said, "Yes, my dogs are with me. They're in the house." And I started walking up to her. I'm like, as far as I know, they've been in the house. I apologize if they were out. And as soon as I finished speaking, she started screaming at me. So I said, she was screaming and cursing. So I said, "Hold up. This is not going to go this way on my property. You need to leave." And she said, "No, I'm not leaving until you talk to me." I said, "No, I'm not going to let you disrespect me on my own property." So I said, "You need to leave or I will call the sheriff." And she refused to leave. So I went inside to grab my phone, which I have videos, but I wasn't able to figure out how to submit them. They're too
Well, tell me
large.
about it.
But so I went in the house, and when I closed the door, she's laying on the horn. I called the sheriff, told them what's going on. They said they were gonna send somebody out. So she's constantly laying on the horn. My kids are crying, freaking out. "What's going on, Dad?" So I go back outside and I'm like, I'm gonna film her doing this.
Does that seem like an overreaction to you guys? Yeah, it is cold. But honestly, and I'm wearing 2 pairs of pants. So I guess that's why I'm comfortable, because I'm wearing 2 pairs of pants and a sweater. But I'm always high as fuck, Vicky. Or sorry, NPC. Damn it. Damn it, Paisley. You didn't read it right. Anyways, I'm always high as fuck. So that's nothing new. But Karina, you'll see what she think, what I think actually afflicts her in a bit. They don't mention it, but she does. She does. She certainly does. There's 2 sides to every story, and then there's the truth.
So I filmed her. I walked around her vehicle, got her plate number.
So
So
you
there was
went inside, did you call the sheriff?
Yes, I went inside and
Okay.
called the sheriff, and the whole time she's laying on her horn. So I went back out there to film this. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe because I have a long driveway, like I said, I'm gonna go wait at the end of the driveway for the sheriff, and maybe that will entice her to leave my property. Because she kept saying, "I'm not leaving until you talk to me." I said, "I'm not talking to you, so leave."
How many
So-
times do you think she told you she's not leaving after you asked her to leave?
I would say at least half a dozen to a dozen.
Okay.
She was just flat out refusing. And I told her, like, we're not talking, so you need to leave. You're trespass. I even used the word trespass.
And
You
when
need
she
to leave.
was, when you say initially, are your dogs with you? She's hollering, and then after that, there was cursing.
There was
know
no,
what
there
she
was no
said?
attempt at cordial communication.
Do you know what
It's-
she said? Did she make any threats to harm you or your person or your?
It started
property?
with, "You need to F in," and as soon as that left her mouth, I shut down. I said, "This is not gonna happen. You need to leave." And
So
she
there
just
weren't
started
any
screaming.
threats to harm you, your property, or your children yet at that point? of
No,
your
she wasn't,
dog?
she
Okay.
didn't threaten, but she refused to leave.
Okay, all
Um,
right.
so,
go
and
back
then
to- Kids are upset, you've called.
called the sheriff. I
and
go
now
sit
what?
at the end of the driveway, and I'm sitting next to the driveway so she could clearly leave. I was blocking my neighbor's driveway at that point.
Are you just sitting yourself or in a car?
I'm
or
in my
what?
vehicle. I got my vehicle and drove to the end of the driveway.
Okay.
She lives across the
So-
street.
You drove, how do you drive if she's in your driveway?
So I have so you come down my driveway, then it opens up, and there's a
Okay.
big parking area. You can go
Humble
behind my
brag.
house. I have 2 acres, so you can go all the way to the back of the property. You can go all the way to the front, but there's a big parking area in front of the house where all the cars are. So there's enough room to have several vehicles and turn around.
Okay,
And
so
so,
you could drive around this person in your driveway.
yeah,
and
she
then
was
go to
sitting
the end.
here. My vehicle was sitting here in front of my house. I had plenty of room to back out, well, actually, I backed all the way down the driveway and blocked the neighbor's driveway. So she could leave. She was free to leave, to wait for the sheriff. Well, then she pulls up and blocks my gate, my driveway. So I can't even get into my property now. And I said, you need to leave. This is illegal. So she's actively
blocks-
blocking my driveway.
Okay, so let me understand how that works. So she's in your driveway and then how did she,
So I'm sitting at the end, right by the road. She comes and I have a gate. Well, there's no longer a gate there, but there's two posts where there used to be a gate. So there's only room for one vehicle to get through. She
Okay.
comes and sits right there. So nobody could get in or out.
perpendicular to that?
No, she just pulled. So here's the two
Oh,
posts.
just
She comes,
between,
yeah, just
okay.
sitting right in the middle of the lane. And
Okay.
so at this point, I told her she needs to leave. I'm filming this as well. You need to leave. This is illegal. I can't get to my house. I can't get to my children. She's like, I'm not leaving. So I called the sheriff again at this point. There was two calls. And I said, can you guys please hurry? She's now blocking my driveway. I can't get to my house. So they told me to stay on the line. I stayed on the line with 911 until the deputy showed up. He showed up. She was actively blocking my driveway and saw that I could not get into my property. So he had her pull forward. He had me get back in my car, had her pull forward enough that I could squeeze by. And then I went and waited at my house for him to talk to her. And then he came and talked to me. So that was the end of that incident. And I asked him, can I have her trespass? Can I press charges? He said the best course of action would be to get anti-harassment order because I don't know why I couldn't
So if this
trespass.
happened before or something. had
This was the
happened
second
before,
time I've ever had a personal face-to-face interaction with her. This
Okay,
is
what
the
was
second
the-
interaction.
What was the first one?
The one I mentioned back in September, October, when she came
Okay.
and we talked about, she showed me a video that she thought was my dog. I didn't think it was my dog.
Was there any conflict or harassment or threats or anything at that point?
At that point, yeah, she was talking about me buying a gate or a fence for her property. That I was gonna pay for a fence if it kept happening. She kept mentioning I'm gonna pay for a fence.
So do you share a property line
No, she lives
No.
across the street.
across the street?
Yeah.
So, all right. But a threat to harm, were there any threats to harm you, property, family, dogs?
Just stalking me.
In
She's
October, when you first met, or September, October, when you first met, that discussion. So hold your peace there. You can only
During-
hear from one person at a time and you're interrupting the
during
recording.
that discussion.
Yeah, what happened then?
In
Talk to me all-
October?
Yeah, talk to me. all
That
about
was just, we talked about the gate, we talked about the dogs. She just kept saying, if this is gonna be a problem, then there's gonna be court proceedings or something following. She basically made me feel intimidated and made me feel threatened by what she was saying.
As to maybe litigation or
Yes.
something, animal control.
Yeah,
of
without
dogs.
any, I felt like there was no proof
Okay.
that my dogs were even on her property, so it's just like,
All
um,
right. So that was the first event. It wasn't
Yes.
a good friendly neighborly, but it was simply contain your dogs or maybe I'll sue you or get animal control or you got to build a fence. Maybe you need to build a fence for me so that if you're gonna let your dogs go, is that kind of what,
yeah.
All right. And then the next time, so no other contact, no.
But
seeing
aside
each
from her
other?
reports from the neighbors and from my father of her sitting in our driveway when we weren't home.
Okay, so that happened.
In between those two
Yeah.
timeframes, several times.
Okay, so several times means how many do you think?
I can tell you at least 4.
Okay, so about 4 times. She's in her vehicle, in your driveway, just sitting.
Sitting right by my house.
All right, and any discussion after all that, any contact after all that before February 24th?
No,
No, no
aside
letters, no
from
nothing?
animal control, there
Okay,
was no.
so animal control shows up around when?
I want to say it was like towards the end of October
Okay,
or middle or end of October. I'm not exactly sure on the date. I wasn't there when they showed up. They spoke to my wife.
okay, all right, and so they show up, talk to them, and then between October and February, 4 times, you understand, she's in her vehicle, sitting in your driveway,
Yes.
okay. And no, not coming up to the door, knocking on the door, no leaving a note, no nothing,
Nothing.
no emails, no texting, no nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. And then all of a sudden on February 24th, your neighbor's in your driveway in her car, honking her horn, refusing to leave up to a dozen
Cursing at me,
times.
yes.
Okay. And, all right,
And then the next day,
25th?
February 25th, I received a phone call from an ex-coworker of mine whom I hadn't spoke to in a long time. And he asked me if I knew of a Karina Harris, and I was like, yeah, why? She had reached out to him on Facebook. Mind you, again, I don't know this woman, so I don't know how she knows my last name, none of that. I introduced my first name, that's it. So somehow she found him on my Facebook because we're mutual friends on Facebook, and she wrote him a message to give to me, but he didn't even reply or show her that she could see the message, because you can view a message without letting the sender know that you've seen it
It's
on
always
social
a fuck.
media. And
It's
so
always
she
a
wrote
problem
him
on Facebook.
asking
Why
if he
don't
can
you
send.
pause? It's always a fucking problem, and Facebook is always the problem. No, but seriously, don't go searching people on Facebook and send messages to their friends asking them to tell them what an asshole they are. That's so weird. That's fucking weird. If we didn't think you were old based on your plastic surgery, Karina, we think you're old based on your use of Facebook.
Me a message for her. And then she sent the message, and it was a bunch of slandering me, talking about my criminal record and how I'm gonna pay for her fence, and how she's already had to spend $700 on a small fence in her backyard, and how I already have basically almost word for word, I already have criminal charges. Do I want more? Because I can't contain my dogs and they're a threat to public safety, and that, or human safety, and that I have no regard for human safety because of my past. She was bringing up my past criminal record. So she's literally, I don't understand what my criminal record has to do with my dogs being in her yard, but she's running background checks on me, following me on social media, reaching out to coworkers, which my coworker said he doesn't know her. He's never met her, doesn't know how she got his information to even talk to me. He even offered to come here if I needed him to, but he said he doesn't even know that woman. So at that point, I was terrified. She's running background checks on me. She's making accusations. She's slandering, basically calling into question my character. So what's going to stop her from reaching out to my boss next time, or the company I'm working for? Like, I don't know how she's even finding this information out about me. So I'm terrified.
So what animals do you own?
I have a
Dog?
German Shepherd and it's like a pit bull mix.
All right. 2 dogs.
Well, we
that
have a
seem
third
to
one
be-
too, but the
Don't
third
judge
one
the
was not involved in
breeds.
this.
So
That
that
much.
doesn't seem to be part of the aggravation.
Right.
These 2 are the.
I
And
don't
again,
know.
each time, so animal control's been in our house twice now, and both times they said she has not provided any proof for them to give us a ticket or any formal complaint.
So I'm going to turn to Ms. Harris, but what do you anticipate I'm going to hear from her?
I honestly don't know, probably calling into question my character and bringing up my background, which has nothing to do with this.
Okay. Anything about the dogs or
She's probably gonna try and say they're dangerous, but I mean, we've lived in this house for 4 years,
4 years?
and she just moved in last year, and we haven't had zero problems with anybody around us until she moved
Why
in.
would you think she would say you have dangerous dogs?
That's what she wrote in the message, that my dogs were dangerous and that I don't have any regard for human safety.
Okay. Is there
Because-
some allegation of them attacking her family, animals?
Animal control never said anything about them being threatening to anybody, or they would have given us a ticket or further. They closed their investigations each time they met our dogs. They came to our house and our dogs were out in the yard.
What did animal control say they were there for? Did they tell you what the substance?
Well,
of the
apparently it's
complaint was?
anonymous, but they said that our dogs were at large.
Okay,
They said it's anonymous. And then they also, the animal control lady, this most recent time, said that she feels, in her opinion, she can see how these are it's like harassment, her complaints. They said they can see a form of harassment in the complaints they're getting. about our dogs.
So do you know how many complaints have been sent to animal control about your dogs?
As far as I know, the two, they've been to our house twice. And like I said, each time, because normally there's a process, you get a warning and then you get ticketed. And
Okay,
each time they've talked to us, but they haven't given us a warning or a ticket because they said you have to have a time-stamped and dated picture. You have to have proof. And they
So are
said
you-
she's not
are
provided
you
any
under
proof.
any restrictions from animal control?
No, none.
And so, and two times have just been that the animals are at large.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you understand. All right, let me turn, anything else before I turn to Ms. Harris?
I saw in her table of contents or that she
Mhm.
submitted something about an Amazon dog bite or something.
Whoa, whoa,
Again, that further
whoa.
terrifies me
Amazon
because I have no
dog
clue.
bite. That terrifies you? Speaking of Amazon. Never mind, Amazon Daddy. I didn't say anything about you.
How she would know anything about that. There was an incident
What's
between,
that?
there was an incident between our dog and an Amazon delivery driver that was closed. Animal control was not involved. There was no
Do you know
legal
when that
proceedings.
happened?
What was that?
When did that about?
I want to say beginning of October,
Okay, of 24,
like October 1st, around there.
2024.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, and something happened, Amazon came to.
Yeah,
deliver
something happened with Amazon and our dog, and it was not public information. I don't know how she knows about that. And I noticed the other day, she has a camera pointing right down my driveway. So I think she's literally watching us 24/7 now. Like, I'm convinced of it. I'm terrified that she's watching my house all the time, waiting for my dogs to walk down my driveway. Like, how she would know about that, I have no idea. That's between us and Amazon. I don't know how she got any.
Me and Amazon have a very private relationship that we talk about secretly, and nobody else is supposed to be talking with Amazon like that at all. And to hear that they would speak to somebody on my own street. Oh, Amazon. Maybe we're gonna have to take a break because I thought we were exclusive. I thought you were only shipping items to me. What is going on here? That was private.
Information on it. It's scary to be honest. It just adds to all this, reaching out to my coworkers, looking at my social media, reaching out to people off my
So
social
it looks
media.
like, is this your partner or your wife?
That's my
She's
wife.
raising her, is she a witness that you want to call?
Yeah,
I'm the owner of
Okay,
Amazon.
so why don't you come up, I'll put you under oath, I'll hear from you, and then I'll finally turn to Ms. Harris. Nope, right there. And raise your right hand, and you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
All right, why don't you have a seat and tell me your name?
Elizabeth Barrett.
Elizabeth Barrett,
Yes.
and you are married to Mr. Barrett?
Mhm.
Okay, and you live at this residence that we're talking about?
Yes.
And you're the owner as well of these two dogs
The
that are
dogs and the
upset?
Amazon account.
Okay, so what is it I should know about your request? I mean, Mr. Barrett is the only one I remember named on this order for protection.
I wrote in her and my father, Your Honor. I didn't really know how to go about it. I just wanted everybody in our house protected from being
Okay.
harassed by her.
And then the 4 kids.
Yeah,
And you share these kids?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so tell me from your perspective, what I need to know.
And the Amazon account, Judge. Please don't forget about that. My God. Most important relationship in the house. Can I get an amen for the Amazon account, please? Amen.
Know about this request for an order against Ms. Harris?
Well, I've known about the surveillance system that she has pointed at our house.
How do you know
because
about it?
You could see the light on it at nighttime, and then if it gets a little dim in the daytime or in the mornings, you can see the light. It is the kind of camera that hunters use to watch animals.
The straw! Speaking of Amazon, look at her little face. Oh, honey. Come on, you open wider than that. You open wider than that, sweetheart. But we're going to check this out. Thank you, guys. Oh, my God. Beautiful. First of all, let's zoom right in on this. I think we're going to just zippity-doo-dah right on in on it. Oh, Misty. Misty, look at those eyes looking at me. And Michelle, you're miserable looking. Although today I probably look the most like Michelle, sadly. Okay. What the fuck is this? First of all, Misty, I like it. Good for you. Fucking live it. This girl, she got the same one. She did not bedazzle them. What is the straw? It seems to me, I'm not joking. I am not joking. That is a weirder purse of your lips than just sucking on a straw. Or a smoke or whatever. I've seen it. People, they're like worried about their little lip, the lip wrinkles. What do you think it is though? Gin and tonic, allegedly? Or tequila? Let's just watch it up close for a minute. Also, yeah. Look at that. Like, pretty good, Karina, but yeah.
On it at nighttime, and then if it gets a little dim in the daytime or in the mornings, you can see the light. It is the kind of camera that hunters use to watch animals. And so since this incident with Amazon was from the driver not using the alert system to let us know they were coming, and she was in our doorway. So when
Who
this
was in your
incident-
doorway?
Hold
The
on,
Amazon
sorry, I'm
driver.
just
Okay.
going back
So when
to
this
our
incident happened, it was
regular
in my doorway,
size
which would
viewing.
be not something that you could easily capture
Like
without
this.
that surveillance system. So that would be the only way that she would know about this incident.
And Ms.
because
Harris
it was
would know.
customer, it was my complaint. The incident was opened because the driver came to my doorway. And way further than somebody delivering stuff should be at. So this incident should not have been.
But
public
how does that
information.
make it better
It's
than just
just
me
a-
sipping on my Coke, right? Like, look. Even at my sippiest, without a straw, you're better off just drinking it. Just fucking drink it, dumbass. Am I muted still, probably, maybe? I hope I am. Oh, no, I'm not. Sometimes I do hope, you know, when I go on those little rants and then I can't remember it. I'm glad that I wasn't muted because I don't remember it. Okay, let's keep going.
Simply from the constant surveillance of my home.
All right, so I'm going to turn to Ms. Harris at this stage. Ms. Harris, now's your time to respond to this request. There's a temporary order in effect, and your opportunity to respond as to why the court, I presume, you don't want this order and why the court shouldn't allow it to go farther.
Okay, first of all, let me address Amazon. Amazon seen their dogs in my
First of all, Amazon. Let me address my Amazon. Ma'am, we do not have all day. You cannot go through your fucking Amazon thing. It's linked in your description. Stop pilfering your goods.
yard so many times that they quit delivering to me because the dangerous dogs, because there was a dog bite. So I had to explain to Amazon that they're not my dogs. So I actually got cut off for deliveries because of that dog bite, because the driver sees the dogs in my yard. That's how I found out about Amazon, for one. Two, the camera they're speaking of is a rodent and like coyote control. It is a little thing you stick in the ground because I'm trying to deter any dogs, her dogs, from coming in my yard. So if something comes close to it, it makes a noise, goes, and it flashes red. That is not a surveillance camera. That is simply, it detects motion, makes noise and a light to trying to deter their dogs from coming in my yard. I have got it on all four corners of the acre property, trying to keep the dog.
No way. $21.99 for the straw, a single glass straw that I fucking urge you to get clean. Get that straw clean. Think about it. It's a fucking circle. It's a circle. How are you going to clean that? Does it come with its own cleaning brush? I'm being serious. Drink out of a glass. Pour it in your mouth. Also, again, If you are using an anti-wrinkle straw, I'm hazarding a guess you ain't sucking no dick, okay? And that's such a red flag for me. That is such a red flag.
Dogs out of my yard. That is not a camera. I could go pull it right out of the ground right now. I've got them in all four corners and also at the driveway. So there's that. Animal control. The reason they have not heard anything back is because the case is still open. Animal control has called me. They said they're taking further measures and they will call me when the case is closed. When he says they don't have any videos or pictures, that is false. In the first case, the officer told me that my video proof was not sent correctly, so he didn't get it with the report. And I will tell you, I have dozens of ring cam videos of their dogs. And I have been to their house 3 times and 3 times only. And the 3 times I matched them up with my ring cam videos. And I'm going over there only for one reason only, is to have them come get their dogs. The other thing I want to bring awareness to is through their entire petition, they talk about I was drunk every single time. And I'm sure that they have looked at the evidence, what he just said, and that I have my 911 call and videotaped him what he did when I came to his house. He's the real danger. Their dogs are dangerous. This is a serious situation.
And I also want to point out that I am not drunk, and I'm fucking lucky that this hearing occurs at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, because the likelihood of me being drunk on a 9 a.m. meeting is the slimmest of all the days and all the hours. So I cannot be drunk today, Your Honor. And did you know how easy that was for me? I'm going to be drunk tonight. I drink it out of my sippy straw. No wrinkles, no calories. Woo!
And the last thing I am is drunk. I am terrified and I am very upset. So why no mention of being drunk today when their entire petition is about I'm so-called drunk? I am there because their dogs are in my yard and it's dangerous. And on October 30th, they say I was at their house. Oh, by the way, those 3 times that I've been there, I don't get out of my vehicle. Their dogs are loose. Why would I get out of my yard? I'm sorry, my car. I'm there to have them come get their dogs. And I have all the ring cams from it. And they have not heard back from animal control because besides me.
Actually, I'm so good at this. It is so weird how good I am at making myself very quickly look like the people in front of me. Oh, bang on. Okay, I should do the impression again. I am anything but drunk. Again, Monday, 9 a.m. I'm high, Your Honor. High. I don't drink out of a sippy straw. I shoot my vodka straight up. Actually, I like this look. We're keeping it.
There's 2 other cases that are open. Animal control did tell me that. I don't have them for court. I'm sorry I couldn't submit it for evidence because I did request the public records, but I got an email back that it could take up till April 21st to get. And so I am not trying to search them and do
Please
things.
step you back so you say you've been to their property 3 times. So
Times
do you agree it
all-
was around September and October and then February of this year?
Not in the middle time.
Well, why don't you start me out? Your
Okay,
3 times. Start me out with the first and then go to the
To be
second and
honest
then
with
the third.
you, I didn't want to talk to them because it started to be a problem. And so I put up those animal deterrents to see if that could do it. Because I did see there was a coyote also coming around. So it was like their dogs, the coyote is why I put them up. And I was really hoping that would work. And honestly, I didn't want to get to know them because we moved in and in
So tell me
September.
when you first had contact with anyone. Talk me through those 3 times.
So what I was going to tell you was the sheriffs came, like 8 sheriffs came and surrounded their house when I was getting ready to go talk to him. So I was kind of nervous about it, but I did it anyways because the dogs came again. And the
And
sheriff,
when was that, do you think?
that was in September. So I
Okay.
did go over because the dogs came back again. And I was like, I really didn't, because sheriffs gave me a card and said, if you see Aaron or a white car, please call us. We stayed our mind business. I didn't call the sheriffs when they were around.
I ain't no snitch, okay? I didn't call, even though they blocked my Amazon delivery. Oh no, sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I made a mistake there. I didn't call when the police asked for help with a legal matter, but when Amazon deliveries are involved, I draw the line. Okay? That's unfair to me. Those are my amendment rights as an American to Amazon. That's like the 17th Amendment. Something. So, that's unfair. That crossed a line. I had to call. So after that, I snitched the fuck out of them. I started surveillance. We're calling them cameras at the corners of my place.
And
So you went over in September and your conversation was with who?
Yeah, it wasn't until this time that I said that I was going to sue them for offense, which I am.
Well,
That is
step
true.
back, what was that first meeting? Tell me
It
all
was
about that
fine.
first
I-
meeting.
it's
Offense
fine,
or
actually.
offense?
He was polite. He said, yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, it's a problem. And we're trying to get money together to put a fence up and they shouldn't be in your yard. I was pleased with the conversation. And I stressed to him that I'm nervous. Like I have a 23 pound
23 pound year old.
corgi.
Oh my God. I
and he
was
goes
really
with me-
hoping that she was going to list I have a 234-month-old child living at my house, Your Honor. Please, somebody tell me how many years that is. I'm really hoping it's like 24. 234 divided by 12. Oh, 19 and a half. That's so fucking close. That works. Exactly right. Your Honor, I have a 234-month-old child living at my house, dependent on me. Okay? 234 months. I've kept this alive. And then the Amazon deliveries have stopped, and I don't know what to do. Hi, MB.
Everywhere I go, we walk out the door. This last time, the pit bull and German Shepherd were at my front door and at my car door. This is going to end up in a bad scenario.
When was the second time that you had contact with
The
either?
second time, which I sent you the video, I went to let my dog outside and the German Shepherd was like 20 feet away and I didn't see, he came out from the side of the house and I didn't see him. And the German Shepherd did run, but my little guy,
My little guy, he's only 23 pounds, Your Honor. My corgi. I carry him most places, okay? Do you understand? We live a very solitary life here, getting our Amazon sticker and our Amazon deliveries. And he loves the Amazon driver. We've been having an affair for 6 years.
he's at home, he's protective. So my little guy took after him. And then
When about was this, do you think?
this was October 30th. The same.
Okay, so did you have contact with either of the Barretts?
Okay, so no, they didn't come to their door. I went to their house, which is true. I did go and I had showed you that video. It's time stamped on the 30th and they didn't answer. They didn't come out. I came to
You
the house.
stayed in your car or your
Yes.
vehicle?
Yes.
And what did you do to get anybody's attention?
I called animal control and I sent them the videos and that was why animal control went there. I also sent you the receipt October 31st.
But step back, you're not answering. I really need some
I'm
help
sorry.
here. So on October 30th, you go over in your car. How did you get anybody's attention, any of the Barrett's attention?
Nobody came out. Nobody came out.
But so you just went over, sat and hoped somebody would come
I
outside?
just honked the horn, nobody came out and I left.
All right. So all right, so. And then since then, the Barretts think that you've been there about 4 times before about February. So you tell me, what do you think?
Didn't happen. The only other time is I drove up to their mailbox because animal control, I needed the address and I wasn't positive what the address was. So I just drove.
You're not positive of the address across the street? Ma'am, you're making me break my character acting, my method acting today. I don't even know the address across the street, Your Honor. We are so solitary, we don't even know who our neighbors are. I don't even know how addresses work. Oh, Lord.
Over and to their mailbox because I was doing the report for animal control. Any other time, I have never been to their property ever.
So did she read his mail, Bill, right? And that's how she got his last name, to go on Facebook and stalk him and talk to his friend? How do you pick a friend from somebody's Facebook to whom to contact about them? What are the criteria? That's what I would ask her. What criteria did you use to pick the person that you would solicit off of my Facebook to come and talk to me? I'd like to know. Like what?
Okay, so then in the petition, there are these allegations that family members see you there. Let's see, where is it?
Didn't happen, Your Honor.
Okay,
Everything else he said is
All right,
totally
and
true, Your Honor, but
then-
not that.
February 24th, we've heard from Mr. Barrett. What's your recollection?
So February 24th. Oh, sorry. I was thinking earlier date. Okay, so February 24th, what happened was I looked out my window because my dog was freaking out, and the dogs were right up at the house. I mean, right up. I mean, if we would have walked out the door, it'd have been a bad scenario because my dog always goes from the door right into my Jeep and waits for me to open the door. You know what I mean? It's like it would have been catastrophe. And so I called 911, which you have my 911 call. And they said if it's not an active attack, there's nothing that they can do, but they said what we need to do is
Oh my God, really, Rose? Jesus Christ. But in reality, in the US system, that is not always, that should not come into play in this case. Somebody's criminal history, unless it includes the contact of his, like, as a neighbor, I don't think that will impact a TPO hearing. The judge would say that's not, I'm not considering that. We can consider it. We can understand why she's so jumpy.
transferred to animal control. I got voicemail animal control. So then the dogs went around to my side yard, and I sent you a picture of the dogs behind my Jeep. And because a ring cam catches everything. These guys say there's no evidence. It's like I have.
Hold on. Was he though, Rose? Or was that just like, it was just like completely misplaced? Now I fucking gotta Google it. Jesus goddamn Christ. Hi, John.
Dozens of videos. And so I got in my car and I went up to his house, and if Your Honor, he said to you earlier that his dogs were with him. If you look at the police report and the evidence, he even told the police officers, kids, let the dogs out. I mean, the dogs were loose.
So what do you remember happened? So you call animal
Yes, I
control,
called-
you've got, go on.
in the car and I went to their, pulled in.
Now hold on, Rose, because it sounds like he caught him actually assaulting, and I'm sorry, he ain't gonna be convicted by a jury in America if you present that evidence that she was being sexually assaulted by the rideshare driver near a well-known fishing spot. He came upon them and he shot him. You're gonna find a hard time. So that is not that crazy of behavior to me. It's not good behavior, but based upon that, That's what I would hope my dad would do too. We wouldn't have guns here, but I would hope he would beat the fuck out of somebody. So the guy who's asking, so interesting. He's obviously not afraid in the moment of danger. So he seems to be quite afraid of this lady across the street. That's a crazy story. That is a crazy story. I'll read you guys the article, okay? May as well read the whole article. It says here, in Thurston County, Washington, a father in Washington State fired shots at a rideshare driver after he found the driver allegedly sexually assaulting his daughter last Saturday. According to the Thurston County Sheriff's, deputies responded to a disturbance call and stopped the rideshare vehicle, discovering that the driver was injured. Deputies also found 2 shell casings in the area of the reported disturbance. Detectives determined that the rideshare driver was leaving the scene after providing transportation to a highly intoxicated female, the sheriff's officer said. Investigators said the female's father discovered her being sexually assaulted by the rideshare driver near a well-known fishing spot, and shots were fired. Officials say the driver was taken to the hospital for his injuries and was arrested on charges of second-degree rape and first-degree kidnapping, and the case is still under investigation. Further details were not provided. That article was dated June 18th, 2024. So that's not her. That's him, the guy that is presenting this case, asking for the protective order, was the father in that case, allegedly. Like I said, I'm not in any shock why he's not been charged, even in a state like Washington. With those facts, it'd be very, very difficult to have anybody disagree on the justification of that. In fact, if they do, you probably want to investigate them. I'm going to go with. But, rabbit hole exited.
Their driveway, I honked the horn. He opened the door and he said, and he yelled, "My kids, let him out." And he shut the door again. He said, "My kids, let him out." So he shut the door. Well, I've had to buy a fence at that October 30th that happened. The October 31st, I say either.
So let me hone in on the 24th. So,
Right.
you stayed on your property, or where did you do? Where did you go?
I got in my Jeep when they went around the side property, because they usually, when they come through, they'll go out and go down the other street, Green Ridge. So once they left, I got in my vehicle, and because 911, I got a voicemail at animal control. So I drove up to their house. I go out the driveway, it's kind of like kitty corner, and I go in the driveway, and I honked the horn. He opened the door. He said, "My kids, let him out." And he went back in and shut the door. Well, I had more to say to let him know, like, this is getting scary. Like, if I would have came out that door with my dog, we would have had a direct encounter. And instead of talking to me, he shuts the door. He comes out of his house, and he's from his deck, and he's narrated alcohol involved, intoxication, and starts creating this scene that's not the scene, and starts filming me because he knew darn well exactly why I was there, because his dogs were out. He knew why I was there. And so he was claiming that I was drunk. And then he said he was going to call the police. And then I'm there because I'm terrified to death of their dogs. I'm truly.
Call Alice. I love that song, John. When the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go. Okay. But seriously, yeah, why is it okay for her dog to be out? Why? Again, these people need to build their own fences. If somebody's getting in your fenced yard. But if you don't have a fence either, bitch, you got the problem yourself. Yes, White Rabbit.
Terrified. So I said, "You know what? I am not drunk. I will stay. I will stay. I will stay for the sheriff." So he ends up backing out, which, Your Honor, this is during school hours. I never saw any kids. That's all I'm saying. And why would he leave his house if kids were really in the house terrified? But that's whatever. Maybe people do that. So he leaves and goes to the road. I'm pulling out, and he's videotaping me. And I'm trying to talk to him, and then he said he called the sheriff, and I looked and the sheriff was coming, so I backed up and I was like, I'm waiting right here. You say I'm drunk, I am not drunk. I want proof. I want a sheriff to see that I am not drunk, because these two that are in court, in front of your court, they have like
So
three.
then you back up and the sheriff arrives and
Yeah,
what
I see
happens
the
then?
sheriff, and he talked to me and he said, well, clearly you're not drunk. And I said, no. And Your Honor, if I was drunk like the report says, why would an officer let me drive home? Because I wasn't. It's this
I'm
whole,
not concerned so much about that.
I'm
But
just not
so the sheriff comes, you have an opportunity to talk to the sheriff.
yes,
And
he
then
was
somehow, how does this all resolve that
he
day?
was very nice. He said, thank you for waiting. I said, I'm here because he's saying I'm drunk and I'm terrified of his dogs. And he said, well, I thank you for waiting. And then he said, I'm going to go talk to him. Then the sheriff came back the next day and he saw that I said, look, I've even put up a fence. And he said, yeah, you really need to stay on top of this with animal control. And his words exactly were to me. Mr. Barrett seems to think that his defense is that his kids let his dogs out. And he's not getting it that he's responsible.
So what
And he-
happened on the 25th? So you're talking to the officer on the 25th. You said
Yes.
they came back out. Why did they come back out on the
He came
25th?
to let me know that he talked to what happened when he went and talked to him.
Okay.
Because he sent me home, you know what I'm saying? After he talked to me, he sent me home. And then he said he would follow up with me later. So he personally came over and was super nice and said, you know, he doesn't get it. He thinks because his kids let the dogs out, that it's like he's not responsible. And them saying this isn't their dog, I have endless videos. It's their dogs.
So it's been about 3 weeks since the last kind of contact about all this you've had, or?
Yes, and
Not.
here's what I can promise you. I will never go on their property again. Animal control is taking it very serious and we're taking it very serious. Because it's gotten to a point where it's serious. I mean, something bad's gonna happen. And also, the report was mostly written by his wife, which she's never been there. I've never even seen her. So, and I mean, what this feels like is retaliation for me calling animal control. And this is even more proof they don't want to take responsibility for having control of their
So
animals.
let me ask you a question. So you say that you're terrified of these two dogs, the German Shepherd and the Pit Bull mix, and kind of map out for me why you feel that.
Because one, my little dog, I mean, he goes to daycare, he goes to parks, everything. But when what I didn't know this until their dogs came around, and even the coyote, he charges them. So like, it's just a bad combination. So even if their dog didn't attack,
I don't even have control of my dog, Your Honor. It's so difficult. He won't even listen to me. Like when we're out and about, he seems okay. But when I'm at my house, he just doesn't listen to me. I have no control. No control over the dog. It's fucking terrifying. Ma'am, you're literally admitting fault. Fault. It's your fault. Also, I was belting out that song. You guys, it was muted, but I was singing loud.
my dog first, my little dog is protective. Something bad's going to happen. Or it could be us. I don't know their dogs. So I don't know if they're nice dogs, bad dogs, whatever they're on. They don't want trespassing on their property. How about the trespassing of their dogs? Like, problem solved.
So so fortunately your dog hasn't been attacked. You haven't been attacked, is that right? But you say they've been on your front porch.
No, I don't have a porch. They were literally this time why I went over there and why I was honking the horn for him to come back out is to let him know that this time, because before they would usually come in the backyard, which I've already put up a gate to stop them. I put up the flickering lights, which is not camera. It's to deter animals. That's all it is. It's not a camera. My ring cams are connected places on my property, but it's not the one that they're talking about that sees their house. That's an animal deterrent. So I've put up small fencing, I've put up a gate, I have animal deterrence, I've involved animal control. Like I've done everything under the sun that I could possibly do to keep their dogs out of my yard. That's the only reason I was at their house.
So at this stage, then, you've put up some sort of fence, and is there any other?
If you look and you can see the picture of it, what it is, it's an full acre property. I just put a smaller fence up on the October 31st, the day after the chase with their dog.
On Halloween! The day after the chase with their dog. I'll never forget it, Your Honor. A date that will live in infamy. My 23-pound corgi weighed 22 pounds the day after the chase.
And the same day they say they went to their house, yes, I did because of that video. The next day I bought fencing. It's just so my dog can go out to the bathroom safe, and if their dog happens to be there, my dog doesn't chase their dog, vice versa. It's just to have a safe boundary. I've already done that. And I feel this whole thing is just retaliation because I did say, now that it's happened again, now I am going to sue you for fencing. Because I mean, what more can I do? And Amazon won't even deliver to me because they saw my dogs in here because they had a dog bite. And that's how I knew about Amazon. I had explained to Amazon that I'm doing everything I can to keep the dogs off my property. And
You
because
talk about an Amazon dog bite. What does that mean? I don't know what that's about.
Amazon got bit, the Amazon driver got bit by their dog. And then Amazon saw their dogs in my yard. So that Amazon driver didn't feel comfortable delivering to me. That's how I knew about this Amazon stuff, because I had to explain to Amazon to get my packages that I'm doing everything I can to keep those dogs away.
So you are getting your packages, is what I'm hearing. In fact, there's no inconvenience.
And they have yet, Aaron, when I talked to him in September, they said they were going to put up fencing. There's still yet any fencing. And you know what, Your Honor? It's not only just like, it's everybody's protection. Those dogs are going to cause an accident or they're going to get hit. Like they just let them go.
All right, let me just kind of review what I'm looking at here. I'll turn back if I have any further questions here.
Absolutely.
What are we feeling? What do you guys think is going to happen? The judge is filling out her paperwork right now, so get your guesses in the chat. By the way, we will watch Misty and Sherry, or whatever the fuck her name is, this case, but that's tomorrow. It's going to be Toonie Tuesday, 2 for Tuesday. Donald lurking, that's fine. But tomorrow we will have a twofer. That's 2 shows. Count them, 2 shows tomorrow. Toonie Tuesday. All you need to bring is a toonie. Should be totally easy to get your hands on. What?
All right, so
You don't have toonies?
Mr. Barrett, Ms. Barrett, Ms. Harris. So what I have to find under the law, I can't find to issue an order. What I have to find under the law is that there's a course of conduct committed by Ms. Harris against the 2 of you with the intent to cause harm, it's like to go back and read it out, but that it causes substantial emotional distress and serves no legitimate or lawful purpose. Now, I can see you don't like that your neighbor is coming onto your property and honking her horn, but now I'm hearing more from the other side. It makes some sense why she's there, not wanting to get out of the car, not wanting to confront 2 big dogs who she doesn't know. So often we have requests from folks in the county about neighbors' dogs. I mean, this pipes up a lot of stuff. There have to be some ways that if you're all going to live in this neighborhood to communicate, maybe get the dogs introduced, maybe not, I don't know. You're all dog owners, you know that better than the court about your dogs, but that's the problem, is everybody has to control their dogs so that your neighbors aren't aggravated. And I don't find that Ms. Harris is committing harassment such that it's unlawful or illegitimate behavior, that she's coming over and honking her horn to get your attention because she doesn't want to get out and confront two dogs. So who are known to run loose. Now, there are other ways. I mean, I would suggest there's something called the Dispute Resolution Center, and they're here in this county. They do work. They've been doing it for decades. They help neighbors.
Oh, I would actually suggest this place called PetSmart. They sell these things called leashes and collars, and those I have found to be incredibly effective. I mean, like, honestly, almost magically effective at making sure that a dog stays within a certain, I mean, there's a little give and take. I'll say a little give and take for that, but but you know, there is a little room. I would say probably maybe not necessarily needing the Dispute Resolution Center. Maybe we just start out at the PetSmart. Sorry, I was trying to buy some time for myself to rhyme and pick a little place to send you after this. But there's nothing very good, so I'll leave it all at that, and we'll let Judge tippity tap us on the way out.
Kind of figure things out. They help you come to some sort of understanding with each other so you can live peaceably, and the dogs can peaceably, and everybody can be safe and not worry about their neighbor. And they do that all over the county, and it's really helpful. I would suggest you try that if you can't talk to each other. But I cannot find that Ms. Harris is committing harassment as it's defined under the law. So I'm denying. The order ends today. There will not be an order going forward. It really sounds like folks can talk about this. Maybe if the dogs get to know each other, it won't be a problem. I don't know. But certainly keeping animals on your own property, that's kind of what we all have to do. And that causes a lot of aggravation.
Oh, is that free advice, Emily?
So
Get a life.
Would you mind if I ask a question then?
go ahead.
At what point, if it's not talking about a solution that she wants, it's simply money, are we able to then ask that she not be able to keep coming over, and that's her only solution?
Well, I think you've told each other, you know, you have to respect each other's limits, and if you don't want someone on your property, then say that, but you gotta figure this out. If you're gonna
Right,
live across from
exactly.
each other, you gotta figure this out. You don't
We've
wanna
not
be
had issues like
aggravated
this with
forever.
ever before.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's okay to then tell us if you don't feel safe. But she's
I think you've heard
waiting
it.
however long, however much time, and then coming to our house and saying, I want money. Okay, that's nice.
Well,
but our dogs are not
don't
out
leave
when
it there.
she's coming
Don't
to
leave
our
it there
house.
and don't get into an argument. You know, it sounds like you've got some room to work together.
Right, we've been.
And if
avoiding
you
her,
need
actually.
some help, dispute resolution center is a really good, low-cost group to talk to who can help you find ways to talk, find common ground, find a solution. They don't make the solution for you, you do, but they help you. You know, their motto is, you can solve it, we can help. And so, you know, in the emotions here, I think there's been a lot said.
Not
But
much,
if
just
we
that
can
can't
get that
afford
emotion
to go to
down.
court for
So
something
that
where
we
we just want
can
left alone, like.
help.
Well,
we
but
feel
also
at
you
risk.
got, I think there's a valid reason here why she's in your driveway honking the horn to get your attention.
More than
so-
however many times she says.
And I'm
the
not
dogs have
arguing
come.
about it. What I'm saying is they're two big dogs she's afraid of. And
That's not
they're
when she's
on the
coming over.
loose. Well, that's what I'm finding. So
And reaching
I
out to our
hope that
employers and everything.
instead of
It's-
arguing
that
with
is
me,
harmful.
find a way to talk to your neighbor. Find a way to talk to your neighbor. Don't argue with me. You've got to deal with each of your animals. You got to deal with each other. You both want to stay where you are. Sounds like nice places. So find a way to talk to your neighbor, to find some even ground. You don't have to enjoy each other's company, but let's get beyond this. And so a good, as I've said, dispute resolution center is a really good outfit to help folks talk who feel like they can't talk anymore. You may be very surprised. They do work in this court every week, helping people settle disputes and small claims, and it's amazing what they're able to do. Truly amazing. And
Truly
so I
amazing.
really recommend
I
you'll
was
both be
thinking
happier
5:30 East.
and you want to be happier where you live. And you want the dogs happy and you don't want anyone afraid of your dogs other than, burglars. But you don't want your neighbors afraid of using the area and using their property, and you don't want your dogs, anybody's dogs, to be endangered by another dog. If the corgi's corgis may be small, but they're
That's what I was
scrappy.
thinking for the
So
first show.
I don't want anybody's dogs to get hurt.
And then
But
Juanita.
that's where we are. The issue is trying to communicate about these dogs. It's not harassment. So
I got us a new child support judge to watch tomorrow as well. And a guy shows up wearing a
all
raw,
of you can talk, I
Uh,
hope.
this brand raw for
Hey,
rollies.
Your
You
Honor.
don't have to talk to each other, but then you never get anywhere. So that's it for today. I hope you find a way, and that's one avenue is Dispute Resolution Center. You can contact them and see if there's something they can help you with. But
I'm more
that's it
I'm more than
today.
willing for that, Your Honor, because this for the
Okay.
sake of all the animals.
There you go. So
For
you
the
got at least
safety of
one
all the
opening there.
animals.
And you can be on your way. And I
This
just-
is for all the
Yeah.
animals, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So long.
This is a bit of a cock block paternity case that we'll have tomorrow, Brooklyn. Thank you guys so much. Judge. Don't even fucking bother going on to the next case because we don't have time. My next job calls. It beckons. That is feeding myself, most importantly, but then also my client. So thank you guys for being here. The bad news is I'm out of Coca-Cola. That was the last one. The good news is I bet that I will have more by tomorrow, so I'll be in a good mood. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a great night. Like I said, back tomorrow 5:30 East. That's 2:30 Pacific, is it? 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. I gotta do the little 3-hour math. Yeah, so that's gonna be 2:30 Pacific. That's me, Pacific. Who are you talking to? I don't know. Anyways, I gotta go. Do me a favor. Remember that I love you and I'm proud of you. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye. I said bye. No,
Coming
not
up
that
on this
one.
program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form.
That one's for starting the show. Bye.